You are listening to The Diary of a Wannabe Writer, presented by Richard A. Boxshall, in which I chronicle my life and attempts to become a professional writer by, doing some writing daily, hopefully. Hello everyone, it's Wednesday the 19th of June 2024 and you're listening to The Diary of a Wannabe Writer. Sorry I didn't do anything yesterday. I still have these days where I mentally just don't function. Luckily if I'm going to work I can just push through it and continue and be okay. But I wasn't working yesterday, I'm not working now until Monday. So yesterday was just a day that I physically couldn't do anything. My brain just switched off, and as a result I still haven't finished. It feels like an excuse podcast. Still haven't quite finished my cover letter. That's something I'm going to do later today. Like I say, I'm not going to do it on the podcast because I don't want to tell you who the agents I'm approaching are, but basically I'm going to do a bit of writing today because I haven't done any writing for a few days as well. I was going to do a live stream yesterday, and as I say, my head just fell apart, so I didn't. But I feel a bit better today. The sun's shining and I've got a nice sun lounger being delivered tomorrow, so I can sit out in the garden and read a book. And what I'm going to talk about quickly today is reading, I think. So I have just read Consider Phlebas by Iain M. Banks, which is his first sci-fi book, I think, but it's definitely the first of his Culture series. And I did actually read it a little while back, and I don't know if it's called, I don't know if it would fall into the genre of hard sci-fi, possibly not, I don't know, but it felt like that, possibly. And it was a really interesting book, although I have to say it's the second time I've read it, and looking at the review I gave of it when I last read it, which was 11 years ago, I enjoyed it a lot more 11 years ago. So you've basically got this, I assumed it was wildly set in the future, but looking at the footnotes, actually, the opening segment of the book, or the opening book in the series, seems to be set in what is the Earth equivalent of the 1300s. So I always assumed that it was set far in the future and that the alien culture was something that we evolved into, but by the look of it not. So to backtrack a little bit, it is set around a race called the Culture, and they are basically super evolved humans. They've created AI that basically does everything for them, so they live to enjoy themselves. They don't have to work because the AI does all that. The concept of money is gone. Anybody can basically do what they like. I have a feeling I might be right in saying there are no laws in the Culture as well. Now, this particular book is set during a conflict between the Culture and the Adherans, and with the exception of a couple of people who are effectively in the Culture's secret service, most people are carrying on as normal. But you look at the way it's described, and the people who don't like the Culture feel that humans have become indolent and lazy. It is a typical thing to live a life of whatever the hell you want. So most of them have augmented themselves sexually, so there's no such thing as a not well endowed man anymore and stuff like that. Basically people are free to body enhance in the way they want to, and live the lives they choose. And it does sound very interesting. Now, not everybody, I'm not saying I like the idea, by the way, I'm just saying it's a very interesting concept. But there are people who, as I say, the war is between the Culture and the adherents, who believe that, for a start, they're very fanatically religious and believe that the Culture are borderlining on being a religious sect themselves, and so I think they're fighting a holy war against them. And this is set during the war, and so the Culture use these massive super AIs to control their ships. They're called mines, and one of them has basically accidentally ended up somewhere where the adherents could get hold of it and maybe make use and understand how it works. So the basis of the story is to try and track it down, and you've got people on both sides to try and track it down. And interestingly, because it's the first story in the series, it's from the point of view of a character on the Adheran side. Now, they are very, very aliens, but they employ some humans, people who look human, called changers, and they're effectively shapeshifters. It's not like Odo from Deep Space Nine. They can shapeshift as a whim now. They have to prepare for it, and it can take them a few days to actually do a proper copy of another person. But yeah, so it's about this changer called Horza, who is out to try and find this mind that has ended up on a planet which has been declared off limits by a race far superior to either the Iderians or the culture. So they've effectively got to break the rules to get down there. And it's about how he does it, basically. And it's a really interesting book. I really enjoyed it. The culture of the culture, as it were, seems very real. And yeah, I would definitely recommend it as a series based on... Well, I know I have actually read more than one book. And I know the next one is called... I can't remember what it's called. I'm leaning back. It's called The Player of Games, because I've got a copy over there. And looking at my previous reviews, I really liked that one. I mean, I gave it 5 stars, which is interesting because I don't give a lot of things 5 stars. So yeah, so that's what I'm reading at the moment. I'm about to move on to, let me just lean over and get it. The next book I'm reading, or the one I've just started, is Eliza Clark's Penance. I'm reading it. It's a book club choice for my local bookshop. So I'll be reading that until I've finished it, hopefully before the 27th, when the book club thing happens. But yeah, so that's what I'm up to, doing a bit of reading. I'm going to do a bit of writing now. I'm going to get my cover letter finished today. So there will be no excuses. Tomorrow I will be hopefully telling you that the cover letter is finished. The only reason it won't be is if the person who I'm going to ask to proofread it hasn't had a chance to do it. But the intention will be that it's been finished. Anyway, thank you for listening. Sorry there's been a bit of an odd one. As I said, I didn't do one yesterday because I just mentally wasn't in the right place, but I feel a bit better today, and hopefully I'm not working now until Monday, so hopefully we should be able to continue for the next 4 days doing a bit more writing, getting things where I need them to be, hopefully getting my cover letter done, and yeah, pursuing my writing career forwards. He says. Okay, take care, talk to you next time, bye. You have been listening to The Diary of a Wannabe Writer, presented by Richard A. Boxall. Thank you for tuning in to my random ramblings, and if you'd like to know more about me or my projects, visit my link tree at linktr.ee/Richard Wright, capital R, capital W. Thank you for listening.